you know, and how we're men were men. How do you see how people take everything as fact from social media as opposed to like reading how you would?
Well, I mean, that's because you're trying to compartmentalize a book worth of knowledge into 140 characters, and that really can't be done. And that's only because society has a very, it has a low powers of retention in the media. Like everything's a snap second. You know, you see videos, there's not a shot that's more than 8 seconds there. You know what I mean? It has to switch, it has to change. People have almost become socially autistic in the sense that they don't interact with people as much as they define them for everything else. I'll give you an example, right? Starving people who are starving. Imagine if nobody here had ate for the past week. We've been drinking our own urine. Our skin is starting to get fucked up. Our ribs are showing. We're hungry, we're starving. And there's 20,000 of us, right? We're starving to death. What are we gonna do? We're gonna look for food wherever we can find it. It doesn't matter if you are the richest person in England from the oldest blue blood fucking family that are related to Alfred the fucking Great. I don't care. If you're starving for 2 weeks, all of your manners are out the door. All of this society that you created is finished. So imagine 20,000 of us running around looking for food, skinny, skin peeling off. What do we look like? What do we look like? I'm just saying, what in terms of movies, like end of the world movies, 20,000 people, skinny as hell, skin peeling off. What do we look like? Somebody say it.
Zombies.
There you go. Do you talk to zombies? Do you rationalize with them? Do you try and ask them why they're that way? No. What do you do with zombies? You shoot them in the fucking head before they come near you. They're just training us to be that way with people. So for me, I have to find a way to say, hey, what made the zombie into a zombie? What made the terrorist into a terrorist? Isn't terrorism the wrong answer to the right question? The wrong answer is to bomb innocent civilians and kill people for nothing, right? The right question, though, is why are we living in this misery, in this hellhole? Why is it that I'm here in the Congo and this is a richer country than Britain 20 times over in terms of natural resources, but poorer in every aspect? And why is it that it's in every single westernized imperialistic society's benefit to have incompetent leaders exist in the Middle East and Africa and in Latin America? As a matter of fact, they've sold it so well to the people that the people of the Middle East only think that they can have the most concentrated form of oligarchy, which is monarchy, or a fundamentalist government that's a theocracy. Is that the only thing you have to choose from? So you can either marry your daughter to a guy that's gonna beat her for the rest of her life or rape her for the rest of her life. Is that what you're telling me? That's the options you think you have? Guess who's a fucking slave? Guess who's been programmed? Now I'm gonna pull the plug on you and you're not gonna like me for it, and that's fine. But at least in the future, people will say, well, goddamn, at least somebody stood up for them. At least somebody said what the hell was going on in Gaza, or what happened in Punjab, or what happened to the indigenous people in the Americas. At least somebody will say that. At least somebody will point out what happened in Rwanda. At least somebody will say, hey, in music, as opposed to in media that gets swept under the table for major media to step over. So that's just what I'm here to do. And if I'm not recognized until after I die, then I don't give a fuck. I'm having a great time with my friends on a state terrorism tour. My brother Hassan Salam has Life in Black and White coming out. He's an incredibly powerful artist that paints a visual portrait of music, and he has a lot of concepts and strong. And then my brother CF got the album Ascension. Again, a lot of conceptuality, lyrically saturated, and the man's a monster on the microphone. My brother Southpaw is continuously producing. DJ Static is out here spinning for me, a world famous DJ. So, I mean, we're just here to do our part in the struggle. And we're not mic hogs, we're not stage hogs. We're not trying to say we're better than anybody else, or we're not shitting on no one to make ourselves feel better or aggrandize our position in the game. We're just saying what needs to be said. You know what I mean? Because my father told me that only a coward fights the fights he knows he can win. Bravery comes from fighting the fights that need to be fought. You know what I mean? It takes nothing to punch some drunk guy outside a club that's not even looking at you and knock him out. You feel like a real tough guy now. But you got to square up against someone that's bigger, stronger, faster than you when you know the chips are down. but you're doing it because you want to protect your family. You're doing it because you want to protect your woman, your children. You know, you're doing it because you want to tell people about what's really going on. Those are the fights you need fighting. And again, state terrorism. What's the most common form of terrorism? It's not a kid throwing a rock. It's not children showing up at a border in Texas looking for shelter away from child rapists trying to sell them into sexual slavery, or gangs trying to recruit them. No, that's not terrorism. The most common form of terrorism is that which comes from a government or a state that's perpetrated against another people, or that's perpetrated against its own people. Immortal technique, state terrorism. You know what it is, baby.